Spider-Man No Way Home is about to change everything. Spider-Man No Way Home is the next installment in the Spider-Man franchise. But what new twists or additions could significantly impact the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Hello guys. There will be several twists and additions that could transform the face of the entire MCU. And today we'll talk about them and see what changes this film might bring and how it will influence the MCU as a whole. Number 10. Identity of Spider-Man. So, this is your Spider-Man Far From Home spoiler alert. Mysterio revealed towards the end of the movie that Spider-Man and Peter Parker are the same person. MJ, on the other hand, had already figured out who Peter was. In any case, we begin the film with the entire world knowing who Peter is and that he is Spider-Man. That isn't always a good thing, as when Tony Stark revealed his hidden identity as Iron Man, people went insane, and the individuals nearest to him were put in peril. Still, the exception was that Tony Stark was an adult who chose to disclose his own secret identity. He was Tony Stark, and he understood what he was getting himself into. He was one of the richest men in the Marvel Universe, so we're confident he was better positioned to keep everyone he cared about safe. Peter does not possess any of these qualities. This film is set just after the world has learned of the truths, and they are still thrilled. It will depict how Peter and his family and friends handled this situation. Number 9. Is Peter going to be charged with murder? Unfortunately, and quite unexpectedly, it appears that the world is turning against Peter, accusing him of Mysterio's death. People continue to doubt that Mysterio is a true villain. Peter has now become the public's worst enemy. We all know he didn't commit a crime, but no one seems to believe him. At least his buddies are supporting him. The situation isn't looking good. Things are stressful, and to make matters worse, he hasn't seen his mentor and buddy Tony Stark help him. Number 8. Spider-Verse. We've already had a first look at things, and there are more than a few details about Marvel Studios' third installment of the franchise. The most popular assumption for No Way Home is that former live-action Spider-Man actors Tobey Mcguire and Andrew Garfield would reprise their roles. Despite the makers' best efforts, several fans claim to have already discovered the two Spider-Mans in the trailer. Two flashes of light appear in the teaser at least twice, according to fans, indicating the presence of Mcguire and Garfield. There's no reason why the two Spider-Mans couldn't appear in No Way Home, as the MCU multiverse is wide open, allowing the creators to choose from various reality options. This seems to be a complex notion to get off, but we shouldn't question Marvel's ability to pull it off, right? The entire concept may detract from Peter's existing MCU arc, but it should prove to be the most excellent choice for the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Number 7. Role of Doctor Strange. This person you know has some primary magical abilities and can do all kinds of fascinating and unusual stuff. Could he assist Peter in getting out of the situation that Mysterio had created? But why is his sanctum snow-covered? The shrine is blanketed in the snow when Peter visits it in the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, but no reason is given for the situation. One idea is that they haven't yet repaired the massive hook-sized hole in their room. On the other hand, the shot before it appears suggests that the sanctuary's weather is pleasant and sunny. Besides, when it comes to Doctor Strange and the things surrounding him, things are usually more symbolic. All of the snow and cold may be a sign of Stephen's mood, that he's cold and disheartened after everything that's transpired in the last few years, and that's why he consented to help Peter in the first place. Otherwise, it appears out of character for him to be prepared to make needless changes to the timeline for Peter. Well, we can't wait to find out. Number 6. She-Hulk. One of the most well-known lawyers in the Marvel Universe has to be one of the most beloved characters in the whole MCU, and she is our very own Jen Walter, or we can say She-Hulk. Along with Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and Ironheart, She-Hulk is one of many iconic Marvel characters getting their Disney Plus series. Jen Walters transformed into the She-Hulk after receiving a blood transfusion from her cousin Bruce Banner, who we all know and love. On the other hand, Jen Walters spends most of her time in the She-Hulk form and has no adverse side effects. She is the chief representative among the superheroes that find themselves in legal difficulties. As a result, we all know that Marvel never passes up a crossover opportunity. So we might see her in the upcoming Spider-Man film, representing Peter Parker in court, filling in her origin story, and bringing her into the MCU before her Disney Plus series. Number 5. The Sinister Six. The Sinister Six is one of Spider-Man's dangerous enemies in the comics. Dr. Octopus assembled the group's first version, including Vulture, Electro, Mysterio, Sandman, and Kraven the Hunter. Even though the team has had various members over the years, Dr. Octopus has remained the squad's leader in all of them. Even though the Sinister Six were previewed in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and a Sinister Six film has been in development at Sony for a few years, they are yet to make their big screen debut. The anti-Spider-Man band of supervillains may finally assemble on screen in No Way Home, as Peter Parker's identity is disclosed to the world. Doc Ock and Electro, played by Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx, are set to arrive. At the same time, Homecoming wisely left the Vulture alive, and Mysterio is an illusionist, so he may still be alive. In the prequel, the stage is prepared for the Sinister Six to gather. Number 4. Fantastic Four. The introduction of the Fantastic Four is another thing that might bring a lot of changes, especially now that they'd confirmed that they'll be at the MCU later this year. The Fantastic Four making their MCU debut in Spider-Man No Way Home seems doubtful, but it's not impossible. The film will be set in New York, the home of the Fantastic Four, and its plot appears to rip open the multiverse to include past franchises, allowing a fully formed Fantastic Four team from the 1960s to enter the MCU quickly. Number 3. Pre-MCU movies canon. The existing Spider-Man and X-Men movies were initially acknowledged as MCU canon in Nick Fury's monologue from Iron Man's mid-credits scene, but this was modified because it was unclear where the rights to each series would end up. Number 2. Entry of characters from comics. We don't know for sure, but there have been a few hints that some of the most well-known comic book characters may feature in these films. This renowned George Washington Bridge is present in one scene in the movies. If you're a comic book enthusiast, you'll recall that it's a significant place because it's where Gwen Stacy was killed. The only thing we haven't seen is Gwen Stacy in these films, so it's possible that we'll eventually see her in this series of movies, or that they'll adopt the MJ plot. For non-comic book readers, don't worry, we are here to explain. Gwendoline Maxine Stacy is a fictional character who appears in American comic books published by Marvel Comics, most frequently as a supporting character in Spider-Man stories. After graduating from high school, she was a college student who was Peter Parker's initial romantic interest until the Green Goblin slews her. Peter has been troubled by her death ever since, and stories released decades later show that she retains a particular place in his heart. It's been suggested that Gwen's killer may appear, but we have no idea what will happen next. Brace yourselves. Some of our most beloved and vital characters may probably be killed off in a Marvel film. With a multiverse at work, no one's fate is inevitable. Things can be turned entirely upside down. We are finally reaching the end of this countdown. Keep watching the video. You will be surprised to know what is at number 1. Number 1. Uncle Ben reference. Tom Holland's Peter Parker has yet to make a direct reference to Uncle Ben in the film. In Homecoming, there was a clue that Aunt May was grieving, and in Far From Home, there was a BFP writing on a bag, but No Way Home needs to ramp up its Ben Parker references. Ben was Peter's only connection to his father. Tony Stark has played the position in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but after spending an entire film mourning Tony's death, No Way Home should finally honor Uncle Ben. That's it for today, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to tell your friends and family about it. We'll see you guys again next time. In the meantime, take care and bye.